everyone, and welcome back to our Golden 20s podcast. It is officially summer, and we are dropping our first summer episode. I don't know if we really do seasonal episodes as much as we used to, but in any case, This is such a fun episode to kick off the summer season. We are going to be talking all about how to live your best life this summer, but on a budget. And to kick things off, we actually asked over on our Instagram, what is your ideal summer day? And we're going to share some of the answers because I actually feel like they're very on theme for budget friendly or cost effective ways to spend a summer day. So why don't we jump right into that?
Yeah, definitely. We got two actually that mentioned reading, which I love because obviously we're both readers and that is a budget-friendly way to spend a day. So the first response we got was reading on a sunny day in a park on a blanket with an iced drink. And I love it because it's all cheap thrills.
Yeah. I love how specific that is too. Like just give us a book and a nice little iced drink, special treat, and we are happy. The sunshine, that is also key, but yeah, I love that so much. The other one was reading on the porch with a drink and maybe a blanket. And I love this.
Yeah. Both blankets, both books. You're really painting the picture.
I picture reading on the porch, with your morning coffee, a great way to start the day. I love reading in the mornings. On my work from home days, I usually read a chapter or two. And I really love my bed, but every morning I'm like, oh, maybe this morning's the day I sit out on my balcony and start my day this way because it's just so peaceful and such a good way to ease into a new day. But I love that so much.
Yeah, I'm a big porch in the morning kind of person. Our house faces whatever way it is where you get the sun on the front porch in the morning and then in the backyard in the evening. And it's so nice because you get to be up there with the sunrise, drinking your coffee. I'm right at a school bus pickup. And that's a very particular vibe. You get to see all the kids getting ready for school and all the parents are there with their dogs. And we live next door to a new baby. And so we always get to see the baby with his parents going out in the strollers, starting their day. And we wave to each other. And it's just such a vibe.
Yeah, that's so wholesome. I love that so much. We also had a submission all about a beach day, and I feel like this is what I resonate with. So, good breakfast, beach day with great snacks, dinner on a patio, and a campfire in the evening. And I'm like, yes, yes, yes. I think I was just telling you, Tag, that last summer I really got into the beaches here in Toronto, which is a neighborhood. We have a nice big sandy beach. I won't say nice beach because it's not the nicest beach in the world, obviously, but it is a pretty big beach for city living right here in Toronto, and it's on one of the Great Lakes. Again, not the nicest water, but we will take what we can get. And there's so many brunch spots kind of up on Queen, which is a few streets over from the beach, and that is also my ideal summer day, is grabbing brunch, then hitting the beach. I love to have fruit, a bag of chips, and good snacks, like this person said, to whip out on the beach. Maybe have a little Gatorade or some sort of electrolyte drink to pull out of a cooler bag and enjoy that, probably with a book as well on the beach. And when I'm at my parents' house outside the city, they live in cottage country, so it's very much barbecue for dinner, campfire in the evening. What this person put as their dream day is also my dream summer day as well.
I love that.
What would your dream summer day be, Tag? Or your ideal summer day?
Yeah, I don't know. I feel like this is a classic Gemini thing to say, but I feel like there's multiple personalities where it depends on the vibe, what the dream day is. There is a part of me where a dream day would just be completely spent at home. I'm tanning in the backyard, listening to music, drinking seltzers. Then I come in and have a shower, get all cozy for bed, go to bed early. But then there's also a part of me that's I'm downtown, I'm seeing the people, I'm seeing the girls in their summer outfits, I'm patio hopping, and just like out on the town finding live music. So I'm kind of divided between like the stay at home and that sort of thing. But I think the key theme is like chilling outside, good drink in my hand, good vibes, good music, that sort of thing.
Yeah. Very fair. Yeah. And I feel like you can enjoy it all, you know? Like some days it's very much that I just want to stay home, isolate, have a day to myself, recharge. And then there's other days where you're like, yeah, I need to be on a patio right now and surrounded by everybody that I know, like big group energy.
Yeah,
I get that.
Exactly. I do quite like the cottage vibe, especially if you're going up like multiple times or for a long period of time, because it's kind of nice to like mix and match, have a day where it's like, I'm just going to sit on the dock and read all day. Or it's like a day where I'm going to walk into town and I'm going to go into like all the little boutiques and, you know, you can kind of pick and choose. So it could be like a cottage week is the ideal. But yeah, I like it all the summer things.
Yeah, amazing. Well, why don't we maybe dive into even more summer things? And again, the theme here being inexpensive summer things to live your life to the fullest this summer, because as we know, it is, well, first of all, it's already an expensive time to be alive, especially in Canada. It is just pricey. Everything's so expensive. But I get in the summer mindset of money doesn't exist in the summer. Like money's not real, because I'm just like, sure, there's a concert. Yeah, I'm going to go to that. Sure, you want to grab like drinks on a patio? Sure, I'm down. Oh, this is happening? Sure, I'm down. Like, it's that vacation mindset, but all summer long. And then it's been many years in a row where at the end of summer, I'm like, oh my gosh, like, how did my credit card rack up? You know, because I just am not processing how much money I'm spending through the summer. So this episode is to say, we see you, and you can still live a really fun, social life in the summertime without it adding up and then having to dig yourself out of that summer debt like I've had to do many times in my life before.
Yeah, 100%. Some of my best summer memories are from like the years where I had very little money. I was working like 5-6 days a week saving up for university, but it's just like if you have that like mindset, I think that you can make the summer really great. I'm specifically thinking of the summer of 2016. If you know, you know. I think that was just like the best summer ever. One, Beyonce released Lemonade, so that already made it iconic.
Done.
Two, Pokemon Go was like a big thing.
Oh my gosh.
We were just like we'd walk like 10 kilometers a day. My boyfriend at the time and I, because he was like very into Pokemon Go. So we would be going.
My boyfriend at the time, as if you're not married now.
Yeah, that's what I meant. I was going to say my husband, but then that
loser I used to date.
Like, yeah. He's reformed. He's no longer a Pokemon goer. No, but it was so nice. And it's like, it's so simple that like I album I loved came out then and we played a free app and walked around. But it's like that literally those are the best memories. So
yeah. I had just graduated college the summer of 2016, but I do not really remember. I remember Pokemon Go really well. And I remember going to Toronto Island and waiting for the ferry, and people, you could, because what was it? I never played Pokemon Go, but you could only find certain types of Pokemon in like certain areas places. Or something.
Yeah, and you had to walk to like activate, like, so your Pokemon came in eggs, and it was like you had to walk 2 kilometers to break open an egg. So like you had to be physically fit.
Yeah, because there was like rare Pokemons around like the Toronto ferry or the ferry to the Toronto Island, because it's all these people just like laying in the grass there playing Pokemon Go. And I just remember being like, what is going on? And people were like, oh, there's really rare Pokemon here. And I was like, what? But that is my only memory that you just unlocked talking about summer 2016 with Pokemon Go. But
now, anyways, so good. I'm just like, reminiscing it all. I was in Ingersoll at the time, and there were not rare Pokemon there because it was dependent on how much people were using Google Maps in the area. So let me tell you, Ingersoll had the shittiest Pokemon you could possibly imagine. And we would go on walks, and every time you'd pass the Tim Hortons, you would automatically get linked to the Wi-Fi, which didn't work. So we literally every day, like clockwork, would be like, we're coming up to Tim Hortons, turn off your Wi-Fi so you don't connect. And
That's so funny.
it was just such a time. Anyways,
the first tip, download Pokemon Go. We're bringing that back.
Bring it back. Oh my God, I would love that. That would be
That's so funny. No, but for real, the first tip I thought of before we talk about spending money, I thought let's maybe talk about making money. And I think the start of a season is a great time to do a little reset. So go through your closet, pull out clothes that either don't fit as you're, trying on your summer wardrobe, things that you haven't worn in a while. Maybe you're putting away your winter, like fall winter clothes. There's things you didn't wear all season. So just pull those out of your closet. Maybe it's home stuff where you're like organizing and decluttering. Whatever it is, do that seasonal reset and then start listing things on Facebook Marketplace. If it's clothing, like put it on Depop or Poshmark or something and try to sell stuff that you don't need anymore. Because I feel like for me, I always am too lazy to do this. Like when you're putting things on Facebook Marketplace, it kind of is a hustle because, you have all the messages come in, but nobody's really committal or everyone's non-committal to it. Yeah. And it just is so much effort. But it's like, if you're determined to do this at the start of a season, you can actually make like decent money off of it if it's things that you're just wanting to get rid of anyway. And then you kind of have like a little, especially if it's all in cash, which that's another thing where I'm like, if I have cash, it's not real money. Like, one of those like girl math things. But I'm like, if you can just clear out a whole bunch of stuff, you're going to feel so much better for the season ahead and like kind of set yourself up for success. But you can also make some money that you can then spend on some of these fun things that we're going to talk about to live your life to the fullest through the summer season.
Yeah, definitely. One thing that I wanted to share that I always do sort of every summer as something really simple and cheap is to just like summerify the things that you're already doing. So for me, that's like I purposely will take my lunch outdoors. And it's like, that's so simple, but I don't know. I find it makes a difference. Or it's like I wake up and I open my windows and I have my coffee that I brew at home. I have it iced instead of hot. And it's like little things like these to be like, okay, it is summer. I have it in a cute glass with a cute, glass straw and really set the scene. And it's like, okay, my glass straw was, I don't know, $5 off Amazon. And here we go. I've made like a whole little summer moment in the morning. So it's like, I feel like it can be easy to be sucked into the big picture of like, I need to spend $500 on Amazon to have like the perfect summer aesthetic, when it's like, in reality, sometimes you just need to have a glass straw and put your coffee over some ice, and there's your aesthetic morning routine set.
Yeah, I love that. And it's even like we were talking about, like, if I like to read in the morning, just take that out to my balcony, read outside through the summer, I also am a big, okay, it's iced coffee season. Like you said, like we're changing from the hot coffee to the like cold brew, iced coffee just for the summer. And yeah, I love that so much. Another thing that came to mind for me, since I do love to go out, especially in the summer, like I feel like everyone's just wants to make plans, wants to be outside. The restaurant and bar scene in Toronto is like the way to socialize. So just because you don't have a lot of money doesn't mean you need to miss out on that experience. So something I wanted to throw out there was happy hour deals. And I think we've talked about this before, especially when it comes to like traveling or, I don't know, just getting out there, exploring your own city, but on a like budget, is finding happy hour deals. So now that I'm back in the office, I'm like full back into happy hour, because so many restaurants have like a happy hour from, usually it's like 4 to 6 kind of thing, where it's that right after work time. There's drink specials, sometimes like light bites or appetizers. You can just get good deals. Or yeah, that's the first thought. Sorry, now I'm transitioning to the second thought, which is in Toronto, twice a year we have like a restaurant event. So we have Winterlicious, and then coming up is Summerlicious. And this is also another great way. I don't know if they do this in a lot of major cities or if this is a Toronto specific thing, but a lot of restaurants and like well-known restaurants, fan favorite restaurants, have preset menus, and it's for a set like amount. So you can get like a 3-course meal for $50, and maybe $50 sounds expensive and more than you're willing to pay, but it's like really good value for a full meal. And again, at a really nice restaurant. So if you're in Toronto or you're coming to Toronto, Summerlicious is, I just looked it up, July 5th to 21st. So it is coming up, but maybe see if there's something like that in your neighborhood or in your town, city, whatever it is. And if not, try to hunt down some happy hour deals, because guaranteed there will be happy hour deals.
Yeah, definitely. I think sort of related to that, if you are a big like patio drink girly, it can be much cheaper to make your own drinks at home. So if like you love an Aperol spritz, invest in a bottle of Aperol at the beginning of the summer and be like, I'm going to make my own spritzes at home and enjoy them like on my condo balcony, or I'm going to put it in my little Stanley cup and drink it in a picnic in the park with some friends. That can be a much cheaper way to still partake in the drink scene. And especially if it's things like canned cocktails are super easy. And, you know, you don't come home with like $100 bar bill at the end of the night.
Yeah, I know. I feel like some of my favorite memories is hanging out in your backyard, Tag, because like you guys have your little fire pit, like you barbecue, and it's just like, you know, hanging out in the backyard. Yeah. It's so nice. And it's like all about the company. And
exactly.
Yeah, I don't know. It's still a good vibe. And I just feel like that's how we're moving, you know, we're like, people in their younger 20s now prefer to stay in than go out. And it's just like, that is such a power move. I love that so much.
Yeah.
I think similar to that, something we were actually talking about, Tag, is making meals at home. And I feel like the summer is the perfect time to start making more meals at home. So maybe you're just going out for drinks, but you're eating dinner at home before you go. And why I say summer is the best time to get into cooking, I do that in air quotes if you're not watching on video, is because in the summer, I want to eat fresh vegetables, fresh fruit. Like, I'm never a salad person, but in the summer, I'm eating salads. I'm eating smoothies. Like, these are things where it's like, you don't need to be a chef or a good cook to whip up a salad. So I feel like, you know, go to Pinterest, search up quick, easy salad recipes. Like I said, smoothie recipes, like anything fresh, and start making more meals at home to save some money.
Yeah, 100%. One thing that I had written down is to take a look and try and visit some like local fairs, markets, farmers markets, those sorts of things, because there are so many free events, and it doesn't matter if you live in a small town or a big city. I guarantee that there is almost a free event every weekend. If you have a tourism department, they probably have a website that lists them all out. And these are just a great way to like get out of your house, support local. You can oftentimes get great like gifts or foods or all kinds of different things for a really affordable price while supporting sustainable and local businesses. And you could also just spend nothing and like have the best time. I like summer 2016, the best summer ever. I worked for the tourism for the place that I was living, and we would go to a fair literally every single weekend. And everyone was so nice. Literally, like, people would give me free stuff. I remember I was beside a candle maker and she was like, just take this candle. Like, it was just like the best vibe. And you get to like learn about your community. And especially if you're going with a friend, it's just like a chance to catch up. And like I said, support local.
I love that. I had something similar-ish around like exploring local, and that's to do day trips. So I feel like every summer my Instagram is flooded with people jet setting onto their European vacation.
Italy.
And I'm always, and I'm always stuck at home being like, wow, that must be nice. But I don't have, you know, the budget to be booking flights across seas. And the biggest thing is, you know, coming up with accommodations and funding everything while you're over there. But I do think one thing I really took away from the pandemic when we weren't going on these big extravagant trips was how much there is to do locally. And, you know, obviously we can only speak for here in Toronto and like around Toronto, but there's so much to do just within an hour or two drive outside of the city. Something I know I've definitely talked about before on the podcast, but I'm a big fan of is guess where trips. And they're like mystery road trips. So you order the trip ahead of time, you know the area where the trip is, but you get a few different stops for your day and you kind of open your stops along the way. So it's like stop one, you open it, you head out, and then after you're done that stop, you open the next envelope, which is stop two. And next thing you know, you have like a fully curated itinerary for a mystery road trip. So that's just one idea. However, with TikTok, with social media in general, I feel it's so easy to just look up, day trips outside Toronto and get a million ideas. And the best part about a day trip, of course, you could turn it into a staycation, a weekend trip. But if it's just for the day, you don't need to worry about that accommodation fee, which I feel like is what really kills me when I'm planning a vacation far away from home.
Yeah, definitely. Sort of related. I love the idea of a beach day. There are lots of free beaches out there, even if you have to pay to enter the beach. It's usually pretty affordable. And the same idea is a picnic day, especially if you're making food at home and you're missing the going out to restaurant vibe. This can be a good way to kind of get the best of both worlds. You're still leaving the house, you're still meeting up with friends, but you're cooking your own food you got from the grocery store and you're just chilling in a park for free.
Yeah, I love that. I think it's also a great way to catch up with friends, have a beach day. And I think similar to that is instead of, coordinating a dinner and drinks with your friend on a patio, maybe you see if they want to go for a hike instead, or just go for a walk, do a hot girl walk together and catch up. Or if you have long distance friends, I feel going for a walk together and catching up on the phone is a really great thing to do. But I think, again, there's probably so many hiking trails in or around your city that you don't even know about until you go to look for them. So definitely check that out. And I think this might be a hot take, but if you're looking to cut expenses, you could also consider if you have a gym membership or some sort of class pass membership kind of situation. Maybe this takes a lot of discipline. Let me caveat lots of disclaimers with this, but maybe you pause your gym membership or class pass subscription and you just focus for the summer on getting in your daily steps and aiming for that 10K a day goal. But then it's, again, working in hikes and walks as your social events and activities with friends. And then you're, maybe walking and commuting instead of driving to work. Or maybe you're taking a bike around your city instead of taking transit, if that's an option in your city. But all this to say, I feel like it can be a good way to either save money by cutting that expense from your budget or socializing with friends over something that's good for your health. Free and not just dinner and drinks.
Yeah, definitely. The next thing I had written down is maybe a hot take, but I'm going to say it anyways. And it's something that I always do. And it's I cut back on my makeup and skincare use in the summer. I'm a dry skin girl. So as soon as the humidity hits, I'm oh, yes, I am healed. Obviously, this does not include SPF. Now is the time when you should be using SPF times a million. But I'm I don't need to be wearing a full face of beat makeup. I'm rocking the no makeup, the minimal skincare of just toner, eye cream, moisturizer at night. Same deal plus SPF in the morning. And I'm keeping it simple. Because I find for my own skin, if I go too crazy with any of it and then I'm in the heat and sweating, it just ends up making my skin worse. And it's also just expensive to be putting on a full beat of makeup and then sweating it off. So I am pro cutting back when you can and saving a little bit of money.
Yeah. I feel I just feel prettier when my skin has that natural sun-kissed glow, where I'm just if there's a time of year to cut back, it is in the summer when I just feel naturally glowy and radiant, Maybe it's sweat, maybe it's my natural glow, who's to say, but...
I did just hear through TikTok that apparently men just thought that dewy makeup was that girls were all really, really sweaty. And then I had some guy friends over and I was can you confirm? And they were yeah, I remember like working in offices and being like, why is that girl in particular sweaty? And then finding out that she had dewy makeup. And I was like, oh my God, that is unfortunate. And in that same conversation, we were talking about like blush. And they were like, yeah, I can't tell when girls have blush or if they're sunburnt because it's always on their nose. And I was like, yeah, girls put blush on their nose too. And they were like, what? So just a heads up to the girls out there, men are idiots. And
Yeah.
all the things
so
you're
funny.
doing to look beautiful, they are completely misunderstanding. But that's why we don't do it for the men. We do it for
Yeah.
ourselves.
I was going to say my whole TikTok feed right now is makeup artists doing makeup for the male gaze versus for the girls.
Oh,
And
interesting.
what is that? Male gaze, female gaze? I don't know what they call the
Yeah.
girl version. For the
Yeah,
girls
female
is what I'm going to
gaze.
call it.
Okay.
And it is interesting, but at the same time, I've seen other people do this take and be like, I didn't even know we were supposed to do our makeup for the male gaze. Like I solely get plan my outfits and do my makeup for the girls, and I'm 100% that person where I'm like, I want to do it for somebody who's going to appreciate it, and it's always the girls.
Yeah, no, I'm the same. I just posted a TikTok on our TikTok that was like, my husband didn't like my outfit, so I know I look absolutely fire today.
Yeah.
And people were like kind of saucy in the comments. Half of them were like, hell yeah, girl, that's how you know. And the other half was they're like, no, he's right, you look ugly.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay, pick me,
saw
relax.
That. Yeah. I saw Tyrell also commented. I forget what he commented. But
I
he
think
was
he
like,
just
what
said
the
like,
hell?
what the fuck? Yeah.
Yeah. So funny. So funny. Anyways, reeling it back in. Now we're just like, talking about our TikTok feeds. Anyways, maybe actually while we're talking about outfits and dressing for the girls, something that I had on the list, kind of going back to the whole seasonal reset. If you're looking for summer clothes, you're looking to add new things to your wardrobe, check out a thrift store before maybe you hit up the mall. Maybe you're even shopping from Facebook Marketplace, Poshmark, all those places that I had mentioned for listing things that no longer fit or you no longer want. But do the reverse as well. And you can probably find some good deals by thrifting rather than always buying new.
Yeah, I love thrifting. It's like clothes used to be made so much better back in the day. It actually boggles my mind that even like my own clothes that I bought like in 2012 from Forever 21, I'm like, if I were to buy this now from Forever 21, it would fall apart. So it's just a really great way, especially for like wardrobe staples, I find. And like you said, Facebook Marketplace, I just found a Reformation dress I bought for $100 off Facebook Marketplace. So it's like, you never know what you can find.
Yeah, 100%. Okay, what else do we have on the list? I think two last things from my side. I think we've maybe mentioned this before. I don't know if it was on our podcast or if we were a guest on someone else's podcast, but we were talking about starting a book club. So this is also a really fun way to catch up with friends that doesn't revolve around grabbing dinner and drinks. And my favorite part about having a book club and being in a book club is that it's also like a reoccurring time to catch up with people, because I feel people get so busy, especially in the summer, where it's, months before you see that friend again. But having a book club, it's like, okay, I know, once a month I'm going to see this group of friends and we can discuss everything that goes on in the months since I saw them last. But I think there's so many, we could probably have a whole other episode dedicated to why you should start a book club. But it can also just, if I feel summer's a great time to be reading, like we were saying, if it's reading in the morning on the porch, if it's reading on the beach, if it's, whatever. But I think being part of a book club holds you accountable to if you've set a reading goal, but also just pushes you to try new genres, read things that you maybe wouldn't read on your own. So overall, I just feel like there's so many benefits and perks of being in a book club. But it really is that like cost efficient socialization that makes it a 10 out of 10 like recommendation for me.
Yeah, definitely. I think the best part about the book club is like you do host, so there is the expense when you host, but if you have enough girls, you only end up hosting like once, maybe twice a year. And it's like, so you have to buy 2 bottles of wine twice a year. And for the books, like you can usually get them from the library. Sometimes they're available as PDFs. Like it's actually a very, very accessible activity, even though you will see the TikToks of the girls hosting book clubs that are like insane. They don't have to be like that.
100%. Totally. I think another, and probably actually the last thing that I thought of, again, I'm pretty sure we mentioned, but in the Fangirl episode that we had a few weeks back, it's the idea of going to music festivals. And again, music festivals are expensive, but they are good value for how many artists you can see within a music festival. So I was pulling up, Osheaga is one of the bigger music festivals, probably the biggest one in Canada, I would say. Maybe that's biased, just because it's the type of music I listen to. I'm not into the whole like EDM stuff, so that doesn't count in my books. But anyways, no shame if you guys are into the whole electronic music. But anyways, Osheaga, you can get weekend pass for just under $400 Canadian, or $165 for a daily pass. So if you're just going for one of the 3 days. And at Osheaga this year, we've got Noah Kahan, Hosier, SZA, Renee Rapp, Green Day, The Smashing Pumpkins. Like, these are big names and you could see all of them for $400 essentially. Versus we saw Noah Kahan in April and we paid, I think, just over $200 to see just him. So it's like, again, it is expensive. I also know music festivals aren't everyone's cup of tea, especially, your later 20s going into your 30s. I get it. There's also accommodations that come along with music festivals. Like, it is a pricier experience. But again, if you're someone who really wants to see concerts and like get that live music experience through the summer, this might be one of the more cost efficient ways to do it, since concerts, like just standalone concerts, are so expensive these days.
Yeah, definitely. I am a music festival lover. We've gone to a bunch like for our teenage years. And yeah, like you said, I feel like it's the best way to see lots of artists. And a lot of music festivals actually have really good volunteer programs. So if you are interested, I remember like Warped Tour used to have a volunteer program where it was like you had to pick up trash or something for like an hour, and then you got a wristband for the entire event. And that can be a really good way to see all the bands you want to see for free. So if that's something that's of interest to you, definitely check that out. Not all music festivals do it. Like the one I went to last summer, their volunteer program was like for merch. So still good. You don't have to spend money on merch, but it just depends. But definitely something worth looking into, I think.
Yeah. I feel people are learning so much about us. If you were somebody who played Pokemon Go and went to Warped Tour, stick around. We're basically best friends. That's so funny. Good old Warped Tour.
So good. I know. We saw so many bands, though.
We did. Does it still exist? It just doesn't come to Canada? Or is it done?
I think it's done. I think they tried to bring it back. Okay. And it didn't come to Canada when it came back, I don't think.
Okay. I know it hasn't been in Canada for a while, but
in Canada.
Okay, yeah.
And yeah, all I remember was I saw Sum 41. I can't remember any of the other bands, but and that was a while ago.
Okay. There's a music festival. Boots and Hearts is another big music festival here. It's all country music, but at those grounds, like a week or two after Boots and Hearts this year, so like August, they're having a big pop punk festival, and it's giving Warped Tour energy with the bands. And one of my friends is going, and she was like, "Do you want to go?" I was like, "I'm so tempted, but at the same time, I don't know if I can do a music festival."
Yeah. It would be sort of close to your parents, though.
I know. We were thinking about that, like logistics and stuff, but we'll see.
Yeah.
The bigger thing was I really, really, really wanted to do Osheaga. Like up until a few weeks ago, I was doing Osheaga. So that was it, where I was like, I don't think I can do 2 music festivals, because I didn't want that to come out where I'm like, I couldn't do a music festival, but I'm suggesting everyone else does. No, sorry. It was, I was considering doing 2 weekends in a row. And that's where I was like, I don't think I can do this.
Yeah.
But who knows now? My plans are all kind of up in the air for the summer. But anyways, yes. Yeah. All this say,
I
maybe
love a music festival. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's not
especially a pop punk music one. Come on.
Yeah. And it's
So
not,
good.
it's like what you make of it. You know what I mean? Like there are some
totally.
people who go to the extreme, but that's not really my vibe. And it can be like as chill as you want. But
yeah, what I want a music festival for is, of course, to see all these bands. Good value for your money. Love that. I want to just plan my festival outfits. I really do. I already have. You're like, no? Do you hate this part? Oh my God. I have so many ideas. Like, I've been writing notes in my phone since like January what I wanted to wear to Osheaga. I was like, this is going to be strictly a content trip for my like 500 Instagram followers.
Yeah. See, that's not the festival vibe I'm on because I'm usually camping. Yeah. So it's like I am rocking up in like dad shorts, maybe Blundstones, maybe even rocking a croc. I'm wearing a tie-dye shirt. My hair is in braids. Like I also am going to like festivals that are like people from Fish are there and the Grateful Dead. Like it's not like I'm there with like the dads and we are listening to dad rock and we are thriving.
And I feel those outfits kill in that.
Oh yeah.
Like demographic.
Last one I went to, all these people were like, come be on my TikTok. Like I love your tie-dye shirt. So yeah, but that is my festival vibe. I'm also just like disgusting because I'm camping. And a lot of the festivals I go to don't even have like showers. They have like trailer showers. So like by the end of the weekend, there are no pictures to be taken. The photographic evidence has been destroyed. But
and that's why we haven't gone to a music festival together.
Yeah.
So funny.
Great. I think that those were all our notes on Summer on a Budget.
Okay, cool.
Hopefully there were some good ideas. We also have a Pinterest board that's just like a bunch of summer stuff if you want more ideas. And if you have any ideas of summer stuff that maybe we haven't mentioned, send us a DM and we'll share it on our Instagram stories and all that good stuff. You can find us on all the social media platforms. We're at Our Golden 20s. You can also find us on Patreon, which is the best way to show your support for the podcast. And we drop the episodes early there and they're ad-free. So if you listen every week, maybe consider checking that out. Even if you just sign up for a month, listen for a month ad-free, then unsubscribe. That's totally cool. And you can follow and subscribe to us on all the podcast platforms. Don't mind my cat's butt right beside my head as I'm filming this. Anyone who's watching the video, apologies. We put out a new episode every Tuesday, so make sure you're following and subscribe to us so that you see when those new episodes drop. I think that's everything for this week, so thank you so much for listening.
See you next Tuesday.
Bye.